Hello students, welcome back for another module of the chapter The Earth in the Solar System of your book The Earth Our Habitat, Class 6 Geography. In this module we'll be discussing about the universe, Big Bang Theory, Milky Way, stars and constellations, and at last, let's find out activity. So all of you, you know about the universe. The universe contains the stars, planets, constellations, galaxies, asteroids, comets, meteors, and everything else that we can see in the sky. People have always studied the sky and the heavenly bodies. Since early times, they were aware of the close relationship between events on Earth and the heavenly bodies, especially the sun. They realized that the sun causes day and night and changes in seasons. Early cultures believed that if the heavenly bodies control the seasons, they must have great influence over earthly events and their lives as well. The ancient people made a careful study of the sky and kept track of the movements and positions of the heavenly bodies. Early Egyptians knew that the Nile would float when the star Sirius appeared in the sky before dawn. They recorded the location of the sun, moon, and the 5 planets seen by the unaided eye as they moved against the backdrop of fixed star. So, a lot of work has been done in the field of astronomy, you can say, and the universe which we are discussing. Have a look of the image carefully. This is a clear picture of the universe. Let us discuss and try to understand about the universe by these simple statements between the two friends. Didi, how wonderful it is to watch the sky after sunset. Right now there are 1 or 2 bright dots shining in the sky. Soon their number would increase and the whole sky would be filled with tiny twinkling objects. Yes, Aditi replies. It is beautiful indeed. These tiny dots are celestial bodies. Some of them appear to be twinkling, while there are others who simply glow like our moon. So, by this story, it is clear that the universe contains the stars, planets, constellations, galaxies, asteroids, comets, meteors, and everything else that we can see in the sky. So this is the universe, which contains stars, asteroids, meteoroids, galaxies, everything that we can see in the sky. So this is a universe. Now let us discuss about the Big Bang Theory so that you are more clear about the universe. It is believed that the universe came into being with a gigantic explosion of cosmic energy. It is called the Big Bang. First atoms and later molecules were formed. Ultimately, a giant cloud of gases and tiny dust particles called nebula were formed. Each nebula had its own gravity and spinning motions. So, it is clear that the universe came into a being with a gigantic explosion of cosmic energy. That was your Big Bang. That is known as your Big Bang theory. So this is how it must have happened. The Big Bang nebula after the explosion. Nebula are huge interstellar clouds of gas and dust that appears as faint misty patches of light scattered across the sky. They appear either a bright luminous cloud or as dark patches against a brighter background. A nebula depends for its luminosity upon the presence of stars that are either close to it or are contained in it. If the stars are extremely hot, the hydrogen in the nebula is ionized and emits a certain amount of light of its own. If a star is less hot, the nebula shines only by reflection. If there are no suitable stars, the nebula does not shine at all. It remains dark and can be detected only because it blots out the light of the stars beyond. So, here's a question comes in the mind. Did the genesis of life occur just after the Big Bang, almost 14 billion years ago? So there are lots of questions in the astronomy if we talk about what the universe, how the life came to existence. So fragments of nebula were attracted to one another, collided with each other at tremendous speed. In this process, an enormous amount of heat was released and glowing bodies such as stars were born. The universe is still expanding as new stars are being born. So it is amazing. The universe is still expanding. You might have heard in the news that there are new stars have been discovered and a lot of new discoveries have been made in the field of planets, galaxies and stars. Now let us discuss about the Milky Way. Millions of stars together make a galaxy, and several million galaxies make up a universe. We also belong to a galaxy. It is called the Milky Way or Akashganga. If we look at the sky on a clear night, we can see the Milky Way as a faint band of light stretching across the sky. So sometimes even you must have seen this Milky Way galaxy. If you come out from the house during the clear sky, probably you will find this type of image in the sky. This is your Milky Way galaxy. Here is another look of the Milky Way galaxy as seen in the sky during a clear night. Now let us discuss about stars and constellations. The stars are the glowing bodies of gas. They can produce their own heat and light. They appear as tiny specks in the sky because they are far away from us. In fact, they are many times bigger than our Earth. So it is interesting to know that these stars are many times bigger than our Earth. So these galaxies, if we discuss again, it is a large group of stars, dust and light gases bound together by their own gravity. That is called a galaxy. It is a flattened system of different shapes and sizes. Several galaxies make up the universe. So several galaxies, they make up a universe. The stars are the glowing bodies of gas. They can produce their own heat and light. So look at the image carefully. During a clear night, you will find a lot of stars. Some are bright, some are dull, some are twinkling. So they are glowing bodies of gas. They can produce their own heat and light. And in fact, some of them are much bigger than our planet Earth. Some stars are found in clusters. These group of stars are called constellations. Some of them seem to be forming the shape. Ancient astronomers joined some of these stars in different shapes by means of imaginary lines. A group of stars thus forming a shape is called a constellations. So a group of stars thus forming a shape is known as constellations. Let us try to know about the Venus. Now, Venus is called the morning star when it is seen in the sky before sunrise, and evening star when it is seen in the sky after sunset. So here you can have a look of the Venus. This is your Ursa Major, or the Great Bear is one of such constellations which can be easily spotted in the sky, northern sky you can say, which is also known as the Saptarishi. We have already discussed in our previous module about the Saptarishi, the 7 stars, 7 sages, and is a group of 7 stars that form a part of large Ursa Major. The 2 stars at the end of this constellations, these one, are called pointers. They always point toward the pole star on the north star. They always point towards the pole star or the north star. In India it is called the Dhruv Tara. So we normally call it as Dhruv Tara. It is almost directly above the North Pole, as it appears to remain in the same position in the sky while all other stars and constellations seem to revolve around it. So this is about the Ursa Major. The 2 pointer stars, if you make a straight line, you will find the location of the pole star or the north star. Hence it appears to remain in the same position in the sky while all other stars and constellations seem to revolve around it. People in ancient times used to determine the north direction during the night with the help of the north stars. So some of the constellations are the Ursa Minor, Orion, Canis Major, Scorpio and Cygnus are some of the well-known. So let us discuss now about the celestial bodies. The sun, the moon and those objects shining in the night sky are called celestial bodies. Some celestial bodies are very big and hot. They are made up of gas. They have their own heat and light which they emit in large amount. These celestial bodies are called stars. In fact, the sun is a star. Constellations we have already discussed. While watching the night sky, you may notice various patterns formed by different group of stars. These are called constellations. For example, we have discussed about the Ursa Major or Big Bear is one such constellation. One of the most easily recognizable constellations is the Saptarishi. It is a group of the 7 stars. So this is your Saptarishi, and the 2 pointer stars. When we make a straight line from here, it points toward the pole star. So here also you can have a look, although it is the night sky, so picture is a little bit dull. So this is the exact location of the pole star, and this is the Saptarishi. These are the 2 pointer stars, and from here if you make a straight line, the brightest star which is seen over here, that is your pole star. So always it remains in the same position. Here again you can a simple picture. The last 2 lines if you point, so it points towards the bright star, that is your north star or the pole star. So the star appears to be twinkling because light passes through different atmospheric layers of varying densities. The distance between stars is measured in light years. A light year is the distance traveled by the light in a year while traveling at a speed of 3 lakh km per second. Now let us discuss about the dwarf planet. In our previous module we did discuss about the planets, but here we will focus on the dwarf planet, what actually it is. So according to the International Astronomical Union, IAU, a planet should fulfill the following criteria in order to be classed as a dwarf planet. It is in orbit around the Sun. It is heavy enough to create its own gravity. So these are the characteristics of a dwarf planet, why we put it in the category of the dwarf planet. It is not a satellite of a planet. It has not cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. So these are some of the characteristics of the dwarf planet. Now, Pluto was considered a planet since its discovery in 1930. However, on 24th August 2006, reclassified it as the dwarf planet, as it did not fulfill the criteria of being a full-fledged planet. So it did not fulfill the criteria of being a planet, so it was put in the category of dwarf planet. The asteroid series and an icy object Exina have joined Pluto as a dwarf planet. So this is it was in 2006 that Pluto was taken out from the category of planet and was put in the category of dwarf planet. So here you can have a look of the Pluto from the International Space Station. This picture has been taken by NASA. So Pluto enjoyed the status of planet for almost 76 years. Do you think that the demotion of Pluto as a dwarf planet is justified? So this is a question for you to think over it. Do you think that Pluto should be put in the category of dwarf planet? So this was about the dwarf planet, and we did discuss about the planets and the other planets in our previous module. So this part about the dwarf planet was not covered here. I have discussed about it. We discussed about the Saptarishi, the pole star, how to locate it, the pole star, the north star, with the help of the Saptarishi. So all this is clear now. So constellations we have learned about. While watching the night sky, you may notice various patterns found by different group of stars. This is called constellation. Example I gave you, the Ursa Major is good example of it. This is the Ursa Major. Celestial bodies, you know, the sun, the moon and all those objects shining in the night sky are called celestial bodies. Some celestial bodies are very big and hot. They are made up of gases. They have their own heat and light which they emit in large amounts. These celestial bodies are called stars. The sun is a star. So this is a good example over here of the constellations, the Ursa Major. The last two stars, as I said, you help us to locate the pole star. Venus is called a morning star. It is seen in the sky before sunrise, and evening star when it is seen in the sky after sunset. So this was a fact for you to keep in your mind. So during a clear night, you will see different objects in the sky. Stars, some are twinkling, some are the stars are the glowing bodies of gas. They can produce their own heat and light. So they appear as tiny specks in the sky because they are far away from us. So they are twinkling because they are very far. In fact, they are many times bigger than our Earth. So this is again the reason for it. So the star appears to be twinkling because light passes through different atmospheric layers of varying densities. So Milky Way, already we have discussed. So millions of stars together make a galaxy, and as several million galaxies make up a universe. We also belong to a galaxy. It is called the Milky Way or Akashganga. So in we call it as Akashganga. This is a clear picture of the Milky Way galaxy. We also belong to a galaxy. It is called the Milky Way. So we belong to this galaxy. We are part of this galaxy. Our planet is a part of this galaxy. So there are millions of such galaxies in the universe. If we look at the sky on a clear night, we can see the Milky Way as a faint band of light stretching across the sky. So this is how it actually looks during the clear night. When you look toward the sky, as a faint band of light stretching across the sky. So here is also the picture of the galaxy. The Big Bang, already we have discussed the Big Bang theory. It is believed that the universe came into being with a magnetic explosion cosmic act. It is called the Big Bang. First atoms and later molecules were formed. Ultimately, a giant cloud of gases and tiny dust particles called nebula were formed. Each nebula had its own gravity and a spinning motion. Fragments of nebula were attached to one another and collided with each other at tremendous speed. In this process, an enormous amount of heat was released, and glowing bodies such as stars were born. So all these stars were born by the Big Bang in the place. The universe still is expanding as new stars are being. So it is amazing that the universe is expanding and new stars are continuously born. And they too die also. You must have heard about the black hole. So this was about the universe. You have already understood what actually a universe means. So at last now, there is a fun activity for you. If you carefully watch this table of different planets, distance from the sun, time taken to complete orbit, period of rotation, and number of satellites in these different planets. So once again, be careful, have a look of this chart, because in front of you there will be one question based on this chart, and you will have to answer that question. So these are the planets, distance from the sun, of these different planets, time taken to complete one rotation, complete one orbit, and period of rotation it is, and number of satellites of each planet. Now look at this activity. Let's do it. Activity for you. Now understand this question first. We measure our age in Earth days, 24 hours and 365 days. In other words, we can say that with each rotation of the Earth, we age one day, and with every revolution, our age increases by a year. Study the above chart and measure your age on these planets. So these planets are, these 4 planets you have to measure your age. What will be your age in Venus, Mars, Uranus and Neptune? So read this question carefully and have a look of this table carefully and try to find out your age in Venus, Mars, Uranus and Neptune. So this is all there. Hope you must have enjoyed this module. We'll meet in the next module. Thanks.